So today we're looking at the Phet simulations, the balancing game. You would click down here to the game. You're welcome to do other things if you want, but for my assignment, you need to click the game. This is the first level. One thing I recommend is immediately turning on marks. It makes everything easier to see. And this is wanting you to set this somewhere to make it balance. This one should be pretty easy. You got 10 kilograms, one. I think most folks would know it's probably going to go there in good shape. Next. This gets a little bit more tricky. The secret is to bear in mind anything on the left side has to be the distance that would be represented here times the force downwards, which, excuse me, the force downwards, which is, although this 20 kilograms would actually be multiplied times the acceleration due to gravity to get the number, you can kind of cheat the system and just say 20 times 1. This has a torque counterclockwise over here. I'll show that for you. There would be a counterclockwise torque this way of 20 times 1. That would be 20. So to get that same counterclockwise or clockwise torque to make them cancel out here, you need this to equal 20 as well. And so in other words, 10 times what? Times 1, well, this would be 10. So your clockwise torque is less than your counterclockwise torque. So in fact, this thing is going to tip this direction because there's a much larger torque there. And we can check. Um, Moving on, I'll show you a couple more. Well, actually, let me show you this first. This is actually where you're doing the level. I will say that to do the assignment, you need to do all 4 levels. I've done a couple on each end here. I did not do the middle one. When you are working on these, if you end up with 5.5 stars and not 6 on these, I'll give you full credit for 5.5 stars. If you get less than 5.5 stars, I'm going to start taking points off. So to get a perfect score, you would need to at least get 5.5 stars on all 4 of the levels. I also wanted to show you on level 4, and what I'm about to show you in level 4 works for all of them, but I'm kind of doing the hardest so you can see. This would be the kind of question is saying, well, what would happen here when we checked it? To do this, you just need to find out what are the torques in both directions. And so on the left side here, you would say, well, it's a 40 times a distance of 3. By the way, make sure and click marks. It's a lot easier to see. 40 times 3 is 120. On this side, we would have 4 pushing down at a distance of 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So this rock would be putting a torque clockwise with a clockwise torque of 20. And then these bricks would be 15 times 6. There would be a clockwise torque of 90. 15 times 6, 90. For the bricks, 20 for the rock. We would add those two together. 20 plus 90 is 110. So the total torque from the bricks and the rocks here would be clockwise 110, counterclockwise over here 120. So in fact, we would find that this one is going to go on this side right here. And that would be the correct answer there. If we jumped ahead to another one, such as this, where it says balance you, it's a similar scenario. You can only change what's going on this side. And so what you do is you find the torque on this side. We find it to be 4 times 5 is 20 from this rock. The person, 20 times 3, 20 times 3 equals 60. We could add up the torque of the person and the rock. 20 plus 60 is 80. So we would have a counterclockwise torque of 80. To make this balance, we need a clockwise torque of 80. And so in other words, since this is a 40 kilogram rock, where would we need to put it up here so that it would end up with a clockwise torque of 80? And basically you need to say, well, what number times 40 would equal 80? Now, basic arithmetic would say, well, to find that, you would say 80 divided by 40, and that's going to be 2. So in fact, if you put this rock, set this on the 2, it would in fact balance it and that would work. Thank you. I hope that helps and have a great day.